Acts of the Apostles, chapter 21. Life is a series of journeys, some smooth and joyful, others filled with challenges that test our limits, right? Today, I want to invite you to step into the shoes of the Apostle Paul as we explore a chapter that brims with lessons on faith, courage, and relentless commitment. Whether we're dealing with personal hardships, making tough decisions, or facing criticism, Paul's example offers guidance on how to navigate life's trials while staying true to our deepest values. Paul's journey to Jerusalem. So this chapter begins with Paul's journey to Jerusalem, and it's set against a backdrop of emotional farewells. He knows the path ahead isn't just uncertain, it's almost certainly dangerous. Yet he chooses to move forward, surrounded by fellow believers who pray with him and show their love and support. This speaks volumes about community and its role in bolstering our courage. Paul's willingness to embrace the unknown highlights that faith isn't about assured safety, but about trusting that each step is guided by a higher purpose. Ask yourself, have you ever felt the weight of an uncertain journey? I think many of us have. Maybe it was a career change or a relationship challenge or even a personal mission. And Paul's story encourages us to press on, anchored by the belief that purpose is worth more than comfort. Warnings from friends and prophets. So as Paul travels onward, he receives repeated warnings from trusted friends and even a prophet named Agabus. This prophet graphically demonstrates what will happen to Paul by binding his hands and feet with his own belt, signifying Paul's future imprisonment. These warnings are heartfelt, and with friends pleading for him to stay away from Jerusalem, Paul's response is striking. He says, "Why are you weeping and breaking my heart? I am ready not only to be bound, but also to die in Jerusalem for the name of the Lord Jesus." Now, this passage is powerful because it illustrates a kind of faith that defies the instinct to retreat when faced with danger. Paul wasn't reckless, he was resolved. He knew that fulfilling his mission was worth the cost, even if that cost was his freedom or life. Think about this. Fear is a natural response to the unknown or to danger. But Paul's example begs the question, do we let fear define our boundaries, or do we push past it to reach the fullness of our calling? True faith, Paul shows us, isn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to proceed with resolve despite it. That's beautiful, isn't it? The arrival in Jerusalem and the tension. So when Paul arrives in Jerusalem, he is welcomed by James and the other elders. However, news of his work among the Gentiles has spread, and rumors threaten to tarnish his reputation among the Jewish believers. The elders suggest that Paul join in a purification ritual to show that he respects Jewish customs and traditions. Paul agrees without hesitation, demonstrating humility and the desire to build bridges. This teaches us that staying strong doesn't mean being rigid. Paul's actions highlight the importance of maintaining unity even when misunderstandings arise. Think about that. There is power in adaptability, isn't there? And sometimes we need to meet others where they are and show that we respect their beliefs, as long as it doesn't compromise our core values. Paul's willingness to adapt for a greater good reminds us that flexibility can be a form of strength. The arrest of Paul. So the tension erupts when Paul is in the temple. Certain Jews from Asia recognize him and accuse him of defiling the temple by bringing Gentiles into it, an accusation rooted in fear and misunderstanding. Chaos follows as an angry mob seizes Paul, beating him as the city is thrown into turmoil. Yet, even in this intense moment, Paul remains composed. Roman soldiers intervene, arresting him for his own protection, but Paul doesn't let panic or anger take over. Instead, he prepares to use this moment to share his testimony. This is beautiful, isn't it? It's tough, but beautiful. Because how do we react when we're wrongly accused or misunderstood? Paul's calm and composed demeanor under pressure is a lesson in grace. It shows that adversity can be an opportunity to demonstrate our character and commitment to our beliefs. Paul's defense begins. So, after being carried away by the soldiers to escape the mob, Paul asks the commander for permission to speak to the crowd. Imagine the courage it takes to address people who just moments before wanted to kill you. Yet Paul does so with the boldness that only comes from deep conviction and faith. He isn't driven by pride or a need to justify himself, but by the hope that his story might change hearts and open eyes. So think about that. Wow. When faced with those who oppose us, are we willing to stand and speak our truth with humility and courage? Paul's example challenges us to use our voices even when fear and doubt try to silence us. So this chapter is more than just an account of Paul's journey. It's a testament to the power of faith that withstands adversity. Paul's actions urge us to think about our own responses and challenges. Will we step forward even when it means facing trials? Or will we hold back out of fear? Paul's steadfastness shows that the true measure of commitment is found in those moments when we choose courage over comfort and purpose over personal safety. Now, as we leave here today, I invite you to reflect on Paul's example. Consider the areas in your life where you need to step forward in faith, where you need to embrace courage and resolve, even when the outcome isn't clear. Let Paul's journey inspire you to be bold in your commitments, humble in your approach, and steadfast in your beliefs. Remember, true faith isn't just about believing, it's about living those beliefs out loud, even when the world pushes back. May we all find the strength to walk our path with unwavering faith, knowing that we are part of a story far greater than even we can imagine. It's beautiful, isn't it? You know what else is beautiful? Is the way I feel every day when I get to spend time with you and we have these chats. Now, I'll be back tomorrow to discuss the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 22. I hope you'll join me because I can't wait to see you. Take care, my friends. I'll talk to you then.